Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Stello Stadium. Tonight we've got a treat for you. We've got two of the top teams in the Division I of New Hampshire football in that west-south cluster. I guess I should say southwest to be correct,
Southwest,
right?
there you go.
Right. And with Pinkerton Academy coming in here, their second straight trip to Stello Stadium in a week against Bishop Guertin, both teams coming in here at 5-1. I'm Tom King along with Jason Roby, Tim O'Neill on camera, Pete Johnson, our executive producer. He's probably in Hawaii somewhere. Who knows, you know. But we have got a treat for you. It should be a good game, Jason. You know, Bishop Guertin, this is a Guertin team we're not accustomed to seeing in terms of just plowing ahead and running the football.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Tom. They have two players in Santa Suaso, their quarterback, who'll be wearing number 13 tonight, and Charlie Bellavance, number 26. But some inside information, Bellavance will not be playing tonight, Tom. Apparently there was an injury that may force him out. So Pinkerton will not get a chance to see them. Obviously, these are two teams that could meet again.
Well,
in the coming weeks.
The way it's set up, and by the way, is Santa Suaso changed back to 8? Or
he is wearing 13
He's
tonight.
wearing 13, not 8 tonight. Okay.
Correct.
So the way it should shape up, and of course you never know these days. I mean, there's COVID cancellations everywhere, which is going to affect a lot of things.
Right.
But the way it should shape up is Guertin, by virtue of winning the West Conference, should be number 2 seed. Pinkerton, probably number 3 seed. No matter what happens here tonight, because you win a conference, you automatically get that 2nd seed or top 2 seeds. So they will play probably here in, what are we talking about, 3 weeks, right?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, this is how the West was won, and last night Nashua North losing a good game to Salem.
That clinches things for Bishop Guertin because they have beaten everyone in the conference.
Right.
So everyone in the conference cannot finish with fewer than 4 losses.
That's correct.
And neither can Bishop Guertin, but they've beaten everybody, so they have the head-to-heads.
And an interesting thing, the only loss that both of these teams have coming to Londonderry, and of course Londonderry, the main rival to Pinkerton, and obviously Pinkerton would like another shot at the Lancers, no question about that. But as you mentioned, chances are, regardless of how things shake out here tonight, we could be back here in 3 weeks for that first playoff game.
Yeah, the home field's not involved here in terms of the winner gets home field. The conference champion is going to get the home field, and that's the way it usually works. Some people say, oh, they got to seed them 1-8. I like the conference setup.
I do too.
I really do. I think it's a good setup. You're playing against your local teams. Those games mean a lot. You want to win your conference. I think that's the way to do it.
Some interesting information, Tom, coming down this week in terms of, you mentioned those COVID games.
Yeah, they're
non-contest, which
right.
in essence hurts some people, right? It's going to potentially hurt Salem. It's going to hurt Goffstown, although Goffstown losing today to Winnicott, and obviously the beneficiary of Bedford beating beating Exeter last night, 16-14. So
changes
should be
a lot
interesting.
of things. National anthem, everybody. Job on the national anthem by the Bishop Guertin band. They haven't done the toss yet, have they?
No, they do it. Yeah, they'll come
do
out
it
for
right
the toss
after the
now.
national anthem, right? So I have a couple minutes just to talk to you before I have to head down onto the field. It's been an interesting season so far. We talk about all the way the quirks of the COVID cancellations. I don't think that the state was expecting too many of them, and they're getting a lot of them. I think what they needed to do was come into the season with a firm thing all set. You've got to do that in today's day and age.
Are you talking about building in that extra week should you need it, Tom? Would that have been something?
Whatever way you want to do it,
you
know, and I think that's the way to do it. I think they probably could have even cut down the season to 8 games and had that extra
and built
week.
that extra week.
Right.
Sure.
See, Division III has that.
Right.
Because they only have semis and quarters.
Right.
So, but it'll all shake out in the next week or so. I asked Lisa, I said, what are they going to do? She said, I don't know, but they better decide soon. She said they only got 2 weeks left.
Well, it's unfortunate for teams that might be on the outside looking in.
But you know what? You've got to take the precautions, and I'll give you a perfect example of that involving one of the schools tonight. North will play Pinkerton on Thursday night in Derry.
Short week for Pinkerton.
The reason is Pinkerton is going to have a prom. I believe it's their senior prom, and they have scheduled it for the fall so that they can get it in case there's any problems the rest of the school year. I think it's a real smart thing.
It's a good idea.
For a school that had to basically shut down their athletic program for most of the entire fall last year. It's a smart way to go.
There are other districts that have done that. I know the Milford School District has done that. They had for the seniors, they allowed them to have their quote-unquote junior prom since they didn't get it last year.
Right.
They had their junior prom 3 weeks ago. So kind of the similar situation.
Same thing, and that's what they're trying to do. Now, maybe that's what Pinkerton is doing. I'm not sure if they're going to have 2 proms for these kids or not, but evidently they're going to have one next Friday night. All right, Jason Roby will take you the rest of the way on play-by-play. I'll join him for color probably around, the end of the first quarter, middle second quarter. So as soon as I feel that I have an award-winning photo.
Shouldn't take him too long at all, folks. That is Tom King, the multitasker, wears a lot of hats, so he'll put on his Telegraph hat right now. As mentioned, Tim O'Neill is on the moving pictures here tonight for Nashua ETV. Our executive producer is Pete Johnson, and I am Jason Roby. I'll be calling the play-by-play and color until Tom returns. And we are just about ready here to get underway. Both of these teams coming in with records identical at 5-1. The only opponent they have lost to is Londonderry High School. The Lancers are undefeated at this point in time. A lot of people are saying they are the cream of the crop. They won the state title a couple of years ago. Nashua North winning it last year, and it appears Coach Lozon's group is back on track and wanting to make another deep postseason run. But we are about to get underway here. Bishop Guertin will kick it off. This is Connor Lennon. He'll put his right foot into it. It is a squib kick. It's going to be fielded at about the 27-yard line, right up the middle, and lots of running room. And don't look now, but we are going to start this one off. No flags on the field. Going the distance is number 21 for Pinkerton. That is Don Terrio, the 5'7", 165-pound halfback. Got that ball, went right through the center, untouched, well blocked at the point of attack, and it is 6-0. We are 10 seconds into this one. So if you are just joining us on Nashua ETV, you just missed a huge breakaway by the Pinkerton Astros on the opening kickoff. And one of the things that you see throughout the state this year is kickoff coverage lacking, and there's a great example of that. And it appears that Pinkerton will line up and go for the 1-point conversion. They were not prepared to have their PAT team ready to go 10 seconds into the game. Holder will be Nathan Campos. And you see some lineman gloves on the place kicker. It's a fake! And he's got a nice block on the edge, and he is going to go in for the 2-point conversion, does Nate Campos. So it is quickly 8-0 here, 10 seconds into the game. Well blocked on the perimeter. Campos untouched around the right end. It is quickly 8-0, the Pinkerton Academy Astros. So they are flexing their muscle in the early going of this one. As mentioned at the beginning of the game, the number 1 tailback for the Guertin Cardinals, Charlie Bellavance, will not be playing in tonight's contest. So it'll be interesting to see if it's next man up or if Santa Suaso and company change the way they do things. Will they take to the air? Or is it next man up? Of course, the strength of this Bishop Guertin team is their offensive and defensive lines. They are what have made all the difference for this team up front. And they will get their opportunity barring another kick return for a touchdown. We'll see if the Astros kick it away. Preparing to tee the ball up from the 40-yard line, and they are preparing for an onside kick. We'll see if they break the huddle. They do. Picasso Bates to do the honors here. Number 48 for the Astros, a 6'2", 230-pound fullback and linebacker. The senior squib kicks. It gets by the first line. It is a live ball, and it's fallen on there. And the Cardinals will set up shop 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. So all kinds of action in the early going here. And Stello Stadium has been rocking all season with both North and South, as well as this Bishop Guertin team. There have been great crowds here. And nice to see folks back at Stellos. Of course, a lot of uncertainty surrounding COVID and the protocols and so forth, but good to have fans back in the stands. Guertin will line up in their spread formation. It is trips to the right with Baker off the tackle, so a tight slot formation there. Split left. Calling signals there. Santa Suaso hands off, and there you see number 3, Ethan Chmielewski. He is met rudely in the backfield. A gain of 1. But a great read there by the defense of the Astros. Great tackle there up front by the linebackers of the Astros. Terenzio, one of the captains, 6'2", 220, making his presence known in the early going. And Santa Suaso is going to pull it, and they had accounted for him on the edge. And a great job. They read the down block at the point of attack, corner rolling up, setting the new edge, and were able to hold him to just a 4-yard gain. So that'll set up a big 3rd and about 5 for the Cardinals. But again, a great read on the edge, setting that new edge. So always a good defensive scheme by this Astro team as they line up in their 2-deep shell right now. You can see the 2 corners are rolled up. Could be a cover 4, could be a cover 2. We'll see what the safeties do here. One-step drop thrown out. They clouded it, with the point of attack and rallying up to make the play, and a nice job there. And as a result, Guertin will get the first down. A nice completion there to the slot. And that's one of those situations where your 2-deep safety is just a little bit too far off, coming up a bit late. So a 3-man front now for the Pinkerton Academy Astros. Santa Suaso barking signals, hands the ball off. Nice jump cut there, but not much to show for it. Is Ethan Chmielewski, the 5'10", 155-pound sophomore, who will get tonight's bulk of the carries due to Bellavance not being in the game. We saw him out at the 50-yard line in shorts and his game shirt, so clearly out for this week at least. Santa Suaso now. We have a tight slot left. Twins right. And Santa Suaso will keep it. And a nice play there and a good read by Santa Suaso. A first down for the Cardinals. They pulled on the backside and they followed that pull, and it opened up a huge hole. And a great read by Santa Suaso. He is a tough runner downhill, and they're going to rely on him heavily this evening to move the chains. 1st and 10 now from the Pinkerton Academy 47-yard line. A 5-man front now with a 6th man coming, and they caught him in a stunt off the right side, and Chmielewski was able to weave his way to the outside. So when you stunt and you guess wrong, that can wreak havoc as Chmielewski picks up 5 big yards on first down. 2nd down and 5 now. As we mentioned, the strength of this Cardinal team is their front 7. or their front 6 or 5. I guess we could throw Baker in there, even though he lines up in the slot. He functions and can function as a tight end or a pulling guard at times. Santa Suazo now barking the signals, and he'll pull it and keep it. Nice block on the outside. It's going to be 3rd down and about 2. Looked like a tackle made by, could have been Edward Vandeveen, a 6'6", 260-pound defensive lineman. He is a huge presence on that defensive line for the Astros. So 3rd and 1 here. You have to think the Cardinals are in 4-down territory at this point. We'll see what they dial in. Santa Suazo barking signals. And it's going to be a quarterback ISO, and he'll pick it up. No problem there. Needed 2, got 3. And he followed the lead block of his sophomore halfback off the right side on that quarterback ISO play. 1st and 10 now. 7:20 and counting here in the first quarter from Stellos Stadium. Beautiful night for football. Looks like we're going to avoid any kind of rain here this evening. Baker sets up off the tackle, and Santa Suazo will keep it dancing around through the middle of the interior, breaks a couple of tackles, and busts off an 11-yard run. So in the early going, Matt Santa Suazo, the quarterback for the Cardinals, making his presence felt. So big push there. Obviously, the longtime defensive coordinator, Brian Murphy. We'll see what kind of changes he has dialed in as he'll try to slow this offense down. It's one thing to know who's going to carry the ball, as you do. It's another thing to stop them, and offensive line making their presence felt. Double pull there as Chmielewski breaks off the right side, and again, not getting touched till about 4 yards into the secondary. So the offensive line for the Cardinals imposing their will in the early going here. Not accustomed to seeing these long, arduous drives against this Pinkerton defense. 2nd down and about 4 yards to go. So even though it's a spread, what you're really seeing here is it's a run-first offense. Chmielewski will bounce off to the left, and he'll get driven back. Might pick up a yard, maybe a yard and a half. That's going to set up a big 3rd down. So stacked up. And that was a cutback all the way. Read the line, cut left, and a great protection on the backside of that Pinkerton Academy defense. As soon as they knew Santa Suazo did not have the ball in his choice read, they swallowed Chmielewski up. Santa Suazo calling the play from the line of scrimmage. And wasn't ready for the play. It's not a penalty because the ball was snapped. You do not have to move. It should not be a penalty. It is not. But unfortunately for the Cardinals, they're going to lose 3-4 yards on the play. That's going to set up 4th down. So some miscommunication there between the center and the rest of the team. It certainly caught Santa Suazo off guard, as he was not prepared for that snap. Cardinals very fortunate to get that ball back. 4:45 and counting. First quarter here. Pinkerton up early, 8-0 on the touchdown return on the pooch kick. Santa Suazo, will he go to the air for the first time? He does. 1-step drop and a fade route to the back corner of the end zone, and it went through his arms. And that was intended for number 15, Adam Gano, and he short-armed it in the right corner. So Santa Suazo with a 1-step drop, which translates to a 3-step drop under center. Through the fade, he had a couple of steps on the defender, and it went through his arms. So, unfortunately for the Cardinals, they had a chance to tie this one up, and it went through his hands. A well-thrown ball by Santa Suazo. The coverage was beat. So 1st and 10, Astros will take over. We'll see their first offensive snap of the evening, their vaunted wing tee. And we'll see series football here tonight and well done, a waggle action by the quarterback. He's going to be run out of bounds and thrown down. That was Nathan Campos. And again, we mentioned series football, so what we're talking about is one play plays off the next. You'll see similar looks. You'll see belly, you'll see fullback trap, you'll see power, you'll see counter, and you'll see keep out. That particular play looked like he was going to the friendly skies on a waggle play into the boundary on first down, or rather from the field, excuse me. So he had the field over here. It was well defended by Guertin, only a pickup of 2. Wing right, double wing, motion into the backfield, a double tight end set, isolation play, well blocked up front. So they went with a double tight end set there, did the Astros. Double wing, double tight, power football. That looked like Yannico on the carry for the Astros. 5'9", 195-pound halfback. He is a junior. That's going to set up a big 3rd down and 4 here for Pinkerton. So Guertin with an opportunity to get off the field on 3rd down and get some good field position. Double tight end again, and a double dive play there that bounces to the outside. It is Yannico once again on a double dive play, and that is going to move the chains. So something of note right now, Pinkerton employing a 2 tight end look. And to kind of offset that front of the Cardinals, they probably feel like the front is the thing they need to take advantage of. And bringing some extra people into the box, no problem. We'll just go double tight, double wing, and see how you play that. Once again, a balanced formation, motion into the backfield, a fullback trap. It was either trap or dive. I didn't see the line play. So a nice play there. Could have been like a belly look, 2nd down and 1. So we'll see if Coach O'Reilly takes a shot here with decent field position. You got a free down, a free play here if you want to take a shot, or will he just stay series football? Have to believe double tight end once again with a wing to the right side. They'll motion to a full house, and again, same play, other side, and they'll just move the chains. And just a punishing look straight ahead go the Astros. They're going to challenge the front 7 of this Cardinal defense right from the get-go. That one good for a Pinkerton 1st down. 2:23 and counting here in the 1st quarter. Pinkerton looking to extend that 8-0 lead. 2 top teams in the South and the West right now. Well, Pinkerton is the 2 seed as we speak. Power off the right side, a nice cut there, reading his blocks. And a good job. We're going to have some laundry on the field, though. Flags fly in the area of holding. So we'll see what the call is. Could have been a hands to the face, could have been a hold, depending on where that flag was thrown. It was thrown from the back judge. Yeah, and it's going to be a hold against, or a legal block against the Astros, so that's going to back them up. That's going to negate a really good running play there. So they'll back them up. And as we mentioned, this is a Pinkerton team that comes in at 5-1. The only loss thus far is to that Londonderry Lancer team. They'll finish up the season with this team here, BG. Then they will host North and Alvern in the coming weeks. We'll go over BG's remaining schedule right after this snap. So again, a double tight end wing set. Motion into the backfield. Man is wide open, and he's going to keep it. So went out to the left side, well defended there on the edge by Guertin. And a great job. So 2nd down and 11 now. So Pinkerton picking up some of that penalty yardage, setting up a 2nd and 11. So it is very clear what the game plan is in the early going. They are going to double tight and pound it straight ahead. They like their matchup. And a nice job there. So Terrio on the carry. And it appeared to be Rasmussen maybe on the tackle for the Cardinals. So a good old-fashioned slugfest here in the early going. A big 3rd down and 5. Probably be the last play of the first quarter. It is a power off the right side following his blocks. Looking to cut back. He does. He is off to the races. We'll see if they can get him. They have the angle. And that's Yeniko. And he is run out of bounds by number 9. That was number 9, Luke Kukalakis. So Yeniko, and as we all know in the wing tee, every play is designed to cut back against the grain. It starts to the right. You look for your backside blockers who are downfield. You look to cut off those blocks, and that is just a sign of a well-oiled machine, people understanding the nuances of the offense and how it is supposed to be run. Because he went out of bounds, they're going to stop the clock, so we'll come back out again. Will Pinkerton with a double tight end wing set. A zip motion this time, fullback trap. Guertin was ready for it. Nice job at the point of attack. Looked like number 55 and number 57 working together. That was Zach Connerty and A.J. Rasmussen on the tackle there on that fullback trap. So trying to use the zip motion as a detractor, but what ends up happening is if you just do your job, read your blocks up front, you'll be able to take away that trap. And again, we're talking about series football, so you're not going to see different plays from the double tight end set. You're still going to see those same plays that you would normally see from a true wing tee. They're just going to bring more guys into the box at the point of attack. They're going to attack Bishop Guertin's strength, which has been their defensive front all year long. So that will do it for the first quarter here at Stello Stadium. Pinkerton still enjoying that 8-0 lead on that opening kickoff by Don Terrio. And he went untouched through the middle of that kickoff team. They went for the 1-point conversion, or it was a fake, and around the right end went Campos to give you the score we have at this point in time, 8-0. As we mentioned, the COVID rearing its ugly head, and all of those games that were not played due to COVID will be in the books as no contest, which could in fact hurt a couple of teams' postseason aspirations. Of course, Goffstown, one of those teams, they lost today to Winnicott, and Bedford's win last night against Exeter really puts a hamper on Goffstown's playoff hopes. So, Salem's big win last night against Nashua North, a slugfest that went down to the very end. Salem coming out on top, 35-28, avenging last year's semifinal game. And we are ready to start the second quarter here from Stello Stadium. Pinkerton will huddle up near hash. Didn't have the play called, so they'll do it again. Old school huddles. People watching at home, what's that? That's called a huddle, folks. That's where they call the play from 8 yards back, and they'll go double tight end wing again and an isolation play again, and it opens up nicely right there and a well-blocked play on the edge. That was number 25 again, Cole Yeniko. So good blocking at the point of attack. And Brian O'Reilly going old school with double tight end wing. And you look at the splits of the offensive linemen. We're talking about 2-foot splits on that offensive line. So really spreading out that defensive front of Guertin. And they're going to get Yeniko on a twitch. He started to go right. So that's going to back the Astros up 5. They had first and goal from the 10. So now it's going to be first and goal from the 15. So Guertin, the benefit of a penalty. And the two things that you can't do in high school football, or at any level of football for that matter, turnovers and penalties. And that will cause a lot of sleepless nights for a coach. So, wouldn't be surprised if Coach O'Reilly comes back with the exact same play call he had from the prior play. The double wing now, we'll probably see a motion into the backfield. No, we do not. And a double dive a very well run play, and that's Yeniko again. So from his wing spot, it was almost like a dive option, but there was no motion. So the fake dive up the middle, and then Yeniko coming on the snap of the ball off tackle. And a great job by the Astros, just really imposing their will, well-oiled machine. And this is a statement right here by this Pinkerton Astro team. As you get power off the side, and Yeniko just ducks under two defenders at the point of attack. He's going to get met at the 1 yard line. But there were two Cardinals at the point of attack that could have made that a tackle for loss, and Yeniko just went underneath him and knifed through him. So you have to believe with 3rd and goal from the 1, this is 4 down territory. Typically what you see here is tight man-to-man. You do not backpedal on the goal line if you're a defensive back. Everything is press coverage. But with a double tight end, 2 backs in the backfield wing, and Yeniko's going to go in pretty much untouched till he's 2 yards deep into the end zone. So I'll tell you right now, we talked a lot about Bishop Guertin's ability to drive the football down people's throats, and I think Pinkerton Academy has said, not so fast, my friend. We'll show you power football. We're going to come out in double tights with a wing set and come right at you. So Yeniko in for the touchdown. It's 14-0. And have to believe that they'll be on their toes for this one, as Picasso Bates gets ready to add on the extra point. It's a good snap. It's a good hold. Kick is up, and it is good. So with 9:51 to play here in the first half, the Astros race out to a 15-0 lead against the Cardinals. And that was really a statement drive. They just drove the ball right down their throats. Double tight end. So 15-0 as the Astros run onto the field, and body language, everything in high school football. You can see the Cardinals kind of meandering out there, jogging to their spots. Meanwhile, the Astros sprint to theirs. So if you are Coach Trisciani, you're probably telling your team, look, this game is far from over, guys. There's a lot of football left to be played. We've survived that initial shock. We're down a couple of touchdowns, but we know we have the ability to come back. Now, obviously, without Bellavance, it'll be a lot more difficult. Have to believe that Guertin was ready in case they tried the quick onside kick or pooch kick there. They break their huddle. Bates now from 4 yards deep. Checks both sides of his line, and he gets ready to put it in play. And a nice kick there. It's going to be fielded up the field, and that is Santa Suaso. It's not very often you have your quarterback returning kicks, but Guertin will do it. You remember seeing Curtis Harris Lopez at times returning kicks for the Nashua North Titans on their way to a state title last year. So you put your best player on the field and you ask him to make some magic. Good coverage there. One of the things we haven't had an opportunity to say a lot this year, Tim, is good coverage by the kickoff team. That was pretty darn good coverage there by the Astros. So Santa Suaso getting the signal from the sideline. Chimalecki is his halfback, standing to Santa Suaso's left. He has twins wide to the left with a wing off the left side tackle. Now Chimalecki will switch sides to the short side of the field. One step drop and a good pass and a great block there. And that pass completed, looked like Chase Amaral on the reception. got a terrific block on the perimeter. We've actually seen that play get penalized at times for a blindside block, but it was actually a great block there. So they'll set up. Once again, you have a wing off the left tackle, split end to the left, twins to the right. And that will be Santa Suaso on the pull, and a nice read by him, and he is off to the races. We'll see if he can get that tearaway jersey going. He does, and he's still on his feet, imposing his will all the way down. And a great run by Matt Santa Suaso. Get off me, he says on his way down the field. No Bellavance, no problem. Call my number, here I go. So Santa Suaso off the left side, breaking tackles, almost making a mockery of the tearaway jersey there. Good blocking at the point of attack, but it started with a great read by Santa Suaso. And then he pulls it, gets some good blocking on the perimeter and makes a nice move, breaks some tackles. Unfortunately, that extra point attempt by Lennon is no good, so it'll be 15-6 now. But still, 9:01 to play here in the first half. Guertin is back in this game. Matty Santa Suaso says, get on my back, boys. Here we go. So, great action here once again at Stello Stadium. This really has been the mecca of high school football here. If you love offensive firepower this year, we have just seen NASA having to operate this scoreboard because there have been points galore scored here. So now again, you see a little bit of hop in the giddy up on the Guertin team. Have to believe that message from Coach Trisciani was well received. A lot of football left to play here, fellas. Let's take it play by play. Huge run by Santa Suaso. Good blocking at the point of attack. Great effort by Santa Suaso. And now we'll see how the kickoff coverage is for the Cardinals. This particular play did them in to start the game as Lennon gets ready to put his right foot into it. And a pooch kick there, but again, it's going to be returned. And if you get by the first line of players, it's off to the races. That was number 5 for Pinkerton. That was Russell Patrikas. He's a 6 foot, 165-pound split end and defensive back, so no stranger to having his hands on the ball. And that's the big thing. When you pooch kick, you don't have to beat a lot of defenders at the point of attack because they're all still in their lanes. So if you can get by that first wall, chances are you can get a big one. So 1st and 10 for the Astros from their own 45-yard line. We'll see if the defense for Bishop Guertin comes out charged up here. A great defensive stand now could really get them back into this thing. Pinkerton says, okay, back to our double tight wing. Here we come. Zip motion, probably a belly or a trap. They'll come with power. It's Yeniko off the right side following his lead kickout block. They pull that backside guard and it's all window dressing, folks. It's going to be the same stuff that you would see from a wing tee, from a spread, whatever the case might be. You're going to see series football. Got to love it if you're an old school football guy or gal. Pinkerton will call their first timeout with 8:42 to go here. Interesting timeout by Pinkerton with 8:42 to play in the first half. You run the ball for 2-3 yards on first down and take a quick timeout. So Coach O'Reilly, maybe something he saw that he didn't like in terms of the defensive change, and that would be my belief. Probably something different that Guertin was doing with their front. And Coach O'Reilly wanted to talk it over with his guys up front in terms of the line adjustment that they'll make. And again, what you see maybe here is a goal line type look from Guertin. We'll look at how they run this second down play from scrimmage and if that front for the Cardinals is different than what it was from the first series where Pinkerton just marched right down the field. So perhaps an adjustment is made. The Astros will run right up to the line of scrimmage, so they already have the play. It is a double tight end wing, 2 backs in the backfield. We call it strong. In other words, the halfback is to the wing back side. And an isolation play and a cutback at the point of attack, and Guertin meets him. There's about 6 Cardinals there at the point of attack. And again, the difference in the front has made a significant difference. And that looked like Rocco Girardi, the junior defender for the Cardinals. But you could insert about 5 or 6 names at the point of attack. They made all the difference in the world. So 3rd down and 6 now. Huge play here for Pinkerton. They have not yet gone to the friendly skies. We'll see what Coach O'Reilly has dialed in. Again, it is a double tight end, wing right strong. And they're going to come with an ISO pass, and nobody on the edge for Guertin. It was just a double dive fake. They blocked down at the point of attack. They blocked down with the wing. There's nobody to kick because there's nobody there. Base blocking at the point of attack, and they may have false pulled there. I didn't see the replay. I didn't see if there was a pull from the backside, but quarterback just went to the right. There was nobody on the edge. They just collapsed that left side of the defense. And a great job by Pinkerton. Campos probably surprised he got out there. There was nobody on that edge. So back to the straight wing T. Tight end, wing right, flanker left, or split end left. They're going ISO again to the other side. Oh, met in the hole, falling forward there. Wow, and a great job of filling in that hole there by the linebacking core of Guertin. I believe it was number 3, Chmielewski, but I'm not 100% sure. Could have also been Accomando. But it was a good stick at the point of attack. So they'll make some changes right now. Looks like they might be going back to the double tight end. 87, 84, I believe, are the tight ends. And no, it will not be. They'll come back to wing T. You'll see the split end to the left. Oh, they're going slot. They're going slot left. Motion into the backfield. And just a straight-up dive and blown up there by the Cardinal defense as they were ready. So 3rd and 7 now for the Astros, and a great job of recognition by the front of the Cardinals. And that has really been their strength all year, is the defensive line and the offensive line. And when you have a great defensive and offensive line, you can do a lot of things, and you make a lot of other players look really, really good in your linebacking core and your secondary. You swallow up those blockers. Flag will fly there. And we'll see what the call was. It came from the referee. And we're going to get a illegal formation or a false start, one or the other, from the Astros. So that's going to back Pinkerton up. It's going to be a big 3rd down and almost 12. We'll call it 3rd and 11. So we'll see what Coach Trisciani has dialed up here defensively. Will he bring some pressure, bring some heat? So tight end to the left. Twins right, 2 backs in the backfield. And it's going to be a rollout to the right. He'll just chuck it up there and out of bounds. So good pressure off the edge there from Bishop Guertin. We'll try to get the number for you. They came off a right-handed quarterback. He's going to typically roll right. And Guertin was ready for it. Looked to be Chmielewski off the left side. So a great job, and it was well covered by the Cardinals. So 5:32 to play here in the first half. This will be a 4th down, and we'll call it 12, I guess. Taking a long time in the huddle here. Looks like he's counting them up, so you have to believe it's going to be a punt. The punt team is on the field, and they go old school punt. Double tight end, 3 personal protectors, and the punter. And they bring the heat, they bring the pressure. It's a nice punt. You'd be wise to let that one go in the end zone, and it does. And if you're Santa Suazo, you're probably telling him, hey, that ball like that, run to the right sideline and fair catch it, so they don't have an opportunity to keep it out of the end zone. Little fakey. Regardless, 15-6, Santa Suazo and the Cardinal offense will set up shop at their own 20-yard line. So a great defensive stand there, and maybe a little switch up on the front of the Guertin defense. And you have to believe that's what that Pinkerton Academy adjustment, that Pinkerton Academy timeout was, is to adjust to the front of Guertin. Whatever it was, it didn't work, and the defense gets off the field. Santa Suazo now gives it to Chmielewski. He's continuing to fight following the block of number 55, Zach Connerty, but couldn't get off of it. So a good defensive play there by Pinkerton as they read that play well. So you're going to get a heavy dose of Chmielewski, obviously, and Santa Suazo. Play coming in. That three-man front now for the Astros. And it's a 3-4 look. Wanted to say it was back to their 3-4. Chmielewski now, and that'll be Santa Suazo kind of on a follow me off the right side. He digs in, falls forward. It's going to bring up a third down and probably 3, maybe 4 yards. So a huge play here for the Cardinal offense. We'll see if Santa Suazo goes to the friendly skies or if he calls his own number. He has not gone to the air as yet. So the play will come in from the sideline. Guertin will change their formation. They'll go a slot here and a wing off the tackle to the left side. And it's going to be Santa Suazo, and he's going to pick up the first down, and looked like he was tripped up there by about the 31-yard line. We'll have to clip that blade of fake grass, but a nice run regardless by Santa Suazo as he picks up the first down. And you have to know, when we change the formation and we do that, we're trying to set up some better protection at the point of attack and maybe break a tendency. If they've been run heavy to the wing side, they went to the slot side that time. Chmielewski now, he'll bounce it out. And a good play in the backfield. Nice linebacker play there by Anthony Terenzio, one of the captains. And Terenzio is a 6', 220-pound senior who shot that gap and made a great play on Chmielewski. So a pickup of about 2, 2nd down and 8, 3:06 and counting here in the first half. We'll see if Guertin can put one in the end zone, tighten this game up a little bit. They'll rodeo, which means roll right. Santa Suazo had it up by his ear hole to begin with, but then said, you know what, this is going to turn into a quarterback run into the boundary. Clock will continue to run, going to set up a big 3rd down and 1. We'll see if Guertin tries to draw him off sides and pick up a freebie. So once again, you can see number 84, and that's Jacob Baker. We'll see where he sets up. He's off to the tackle side, twins to the left. We'll see what Baker does here.
I'd like to see a pass to Baker, wouldn't you?
Nah. This is old school, Tom King.
I know.
Love it. Santa Suazo will push forward and get the first down. Welcome back, Tom.
All this running up the gut is not good for photos, Jason.
Well, did you get the opening kickoff?
No.
We'll welcome Tom King back into the booth as we get to the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes to go here in the first half of this 15-6 slugfest between Guertin and Pinkerton.
That's what it is, really. I mean, aside from the kickoff return, that's the difference in the game, really.
They like something they're seeing to the boundary there as Santa Suaso rolls to his right,
I
Tom.
hate working on the short side of the field like that, don't you?
Well, you have a right-handed quarterback. They like him running to his right, and anytime he goes right, there's an opportunity for him to keep it and go.
Correct,
So.
yeah.
But that will stop the clock.
So I'll tell you what, Bellavance is itching to play on that sideline.
No question about that.
And, of course, he says, I'm fine.
Well, he may get his wish. Maybe a rematch is in the cards, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Santa Suaso barking signals. Baker down here again, off tackle. Chimalecki, and it's just going to be a keeper.
Yeah,
and we'll see if...
That didn't look good from the start.
Pinkerton has already used one of their timeouts, Tom, and the thought here is they took that timeout because Guertin changed their defensive front and made some adjustments maybe to make Pinkerton call that first timeout. But they still have two as the clock continues to run here. And at this point, it seems like Guertin content to just take this down as low as they can. We'll see what the play call is. They have the back to the right, which would indicate potentially a straight drop or a roll right.
Well, blood pressure.
Yeah. And again, he runs out of bounds. That's going to stop the clock with 57 seconds left.
Again, working that short side of the field, which I think you've got all that room on the left side, which is where he had that long touchdown run.
Yeah.
You got to take advantage of that.
Not to mention, Tom, it stops the clock.
Yeah, no, that's why you stay away. That's why you stay away from that side of the field.
And that's
clock is your friend. In this case, you want it to run down, but you're going to give the Astros a chance for a drive or for a few plays. Now, Pinkerton, they're not. They don't like to throw the football. You know,
you got a double tight end wing set for 90% of their plays far tonight.
They
so
don't like to throw it.
Why would you? Of course,
everybody's going to go pure vanilla in this game.
BG will call a timeout here with 57 seconds left.
They are going for it on fourth down.
Interesting call. I think what you'll see here, Tom, is maybe the quick kick, the pooch kick. Yeah.
Right.
Wanted to see how Pinkerton lined up for it, and maybe Pinkerton lined up.
So evidently the down yards to go and everything else is not working on the scoreboard?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't do it. I didn't break it. Maybe
it was fine last night.
On the other side, it says, nothing.
They don't have it on the other side. It's not that part of the.
So old school. Look at the orange sticks.
Yep. Look at the orange sticks, which are on this side of the field, our side of the field.
Well, if you took Mr. Roby's phys ed class, you'd know how to read those sticks. Let me tell you.
That's right. Oh yeah. All right.
Fourth down and 9 for the Cardinals, hoping that running out of bounds on that third down play doesn't come back to bite them. But Santa Suaso, Tom, imposing his will the last time they had the ball on that run around left end, as you mentioned, just
would not be brought down. He's tough to tackle. I mean,
he sure is.
He's one of those players that in open space, he could burst it, but even when you do grab him, he is tough to bring down. You've got to get the legs, and you've got to get the legs, midsection and the legs really hard and not let him twist.
Listed at 6'1", $183, but plays a lot bigger than that, I think.
I think he's more than one. I think he's probably closer to 195.
Sure.
And I think he's probably closer to 6'2.5".
So Santa Suaso will bark signals. Again, Baker to the near side in the slot, and now
does back up. Now Pinkerton will take a timeout here.
It is their second timeout, so a little chess game going on here as Coach O'Reilly was taking a look at how Guertin lined up and wants to make sure his troops are lined up properly. Doesn't want to give up a big one here with 57 seconds left. Also wants to be prepared for that quick kick. What's he looking at there, Tom? The depth of the quarterback. That's going to tell you whether he's kicking it or not.
Whether he's kicking it or not. And once he moves back like he just did, you know he's kicking it.
That's right.
And we both figured that. They're not going to go for it here and give Pinkerton a short field to try to score with 57 seconds left. That would put the game out of reach. They're already 2 scores down, even 9 points, 2 scores. So that's...
Tom, you have to be happy here. Not a whole lot of passing being done in this one.
No, but the timeouts are making up for it.
Timeouts and running out of bounds,
They're making up for it.
You'll have to have a talk with Coach Trisciani. And
it's funny, John will always say, he knows how I am, right? John will always say when we start the post-game interviews, he goes, guys, how did I do on time? It's great. Love it. Love it.
So we'll get a trips look to the left and Baker in the slot to the left, split end to the right.
You've got to figure they're kicking it.
Well, you look at your halfback. He is set up in front of the quarterback. We'll see if he stays in front. He'll switch sides.
No.
Will Santa Suazo drop 1 foot back? He does not.
No,
They're running a
they're
play,
gonna go
Tom.
for it.
Love it. I love it.
But he's throwing into a crowd.
Oh, and almost a completion. And so what you say there, Tom, right, is an interception is like a punt.
Right.
But that ball almost found its way through the mesh of Pinkerton hands and into the hands of a Cardinal.
Right, but you know what? You've got all that space on the other side of on the left side of the field. No one's using it. The real estate is there.
That's
There's
where it
one-on-one
is.
coverage.
Yeah. Looked like they may have been going for Baker over the middle, Tom.
It does, but I mean, this is
More importantly, 51 seconds to go here, so you lost 5-6 seconds on that play. Pinkerton with only 1 timeout left, but what we have seen is
Pinkerton can throw the football.
well, we've also seen, Campos roll out to his right, and nobody was there.
No, all it takes is one breakaway one. Put him in field goal range,
Look at
or
the
even get
matchup
in
at the
end
top
zone.
of the field. Oh, they're going to do a counter, and
nobody there.
Nobody
No
is
one
there, but a nice fill at the last second.
All right, how did they get there? It looked like the real estate was wide open.
And a good read there, it looked like, by Santa Suazo, who was
He's a great
Johnny on the spot.
They have him at safety, but he's basically in charge of the entire field, Jason.
He read that play well, and thank goodness he did.
Held what should have been a 20-yard gain or a 25 or even a touchdown to a 5-yard gain, and now Pinkerton uses another timeout.
So 42 seconds to go here in the first half, a 15-6 Guertin lead. Clock management question here at the end of this one, end of the first half anyway, by Guertin. Pinkerton has used all 3 of their timeouts, so they'll be on the far side of the field, the boundary, and we'll see what they do with that field, if they play some keep away, if they take a shot here.
Oh.
It is 2nd and 5.
My guess is try to get down to the 15 and out of bounds and then work some plays. But,
And they might give, obviously they have a kid that can kick it in Picasso Bates. He's a huge fullback, but he's shown the ability to kick the ball, so we'll see what his range is as well. So they'll go wing right, split left. Halfback to the left. A waggle play. And a step up there and a nice job. And
he's going to get out of bounds.
And he will, and he'll get down to about the 10-yard line, Tom, and we get a flag at the end of it. I think they're going to get maybe an unnecessary roughness against Pinkerton, so that could help.
Against Pinkerton?
I believe so. It's either a block in the back. We'll see what the call is.
Wow. Flag is at the 14-yard line.
Logan Goki, a 6'2", 190-pound split end, put his hands up in the air, and that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
So that is a killer. They run waggle. They run waggle to the field, which, and as we all know, waggle turns into a run play.
He got down about the 8, correct?
Yeah, 8 or the 10 maybe. So don't be surprised if they run the exact same thing.
Well, where's it gonna where's the flag dropped? It's not from the line of scrimmage.
No, look back here. Yeah,
it's
it
a
is
spot foul.
Well, they may have moved that flag. We'll see what the call is.
We got another flag.
Foul.
Yeah, we got another flag at the 42.
Oh,
it's a flag at the 42. That's the call they're making.
It is. Was it a targeting call? No.
Well, it's 10. It's going to be 10 yards.
So 2 fouls on the play. One at the point of attack and one 25 yards downfield. They'll decline the one downfield and they'll take the one at the point of attack. Obviously, that'll move Guertin, or rather Pinkerton, back to their own 48-yard line, and that is a killer.
Right at the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd down and about 16. We'll see if they waggle it to the field here. Guertin showing pressure. They do waggle to the field. Throws it off his back foot. Got a man. And it was
threw it off his back foot, and no one there. Man was there, but could not get to it at around the 27-yard line.
And what you tell your corner in that situation, Tom, if you have a split end to the field in a waggle situation, just run to the corner because that's where he's going.
Right, run to the side of the field. You can't miss him on the side of the field.
So 3rd down now, 25 seconds left. This could be interesting, as I believe Guertin still has a timeout or 2 left here.
He probably won, I think.
So
play action.
taking a shot over the middle, and it is caught,
Oh,
and he's
and a
still
missed
on his
tackle.
feet. And the clock will stop to move the chains. That was Caden Michaud, 5'8", 150-pounder. They're going to spike this thing.
This thing with 14 second down. It goes down to 12.
So I wouldn't be. We'll see what happens here. They're going to wind it. And I think you're going to have a discrepancy on the clock here, Tom. There were 14 seconds on that
14
thing.
seconds, and then when they snapped it for the first spike, it was 12.
So you're going to.
So what did the officials do? They weren't ready to line up?
I do not know. So I don't think Coach O'Reilly is making any bones about it. He's just going to run the next play. You don't have any timeouts left. I like the play call, a shot down the middle when you're trying to defend the sideline, and it was a straight drop by the quarterback rather than a rollout. I do like the play call. We'll see. The ball is in the middle of the field, so got to get it outside the numbers if you want to have a chance here. It is a waggle, and it is a throw to the outside of the field, and well done. Well done there. A pass complete to number
4 seconds
81,
left, so you
Logan
got one
Goki.
more play.
And they're going to try the field goal, Tom, and that's just good clock management and good understanding of where you are on the field. Coach O'Reilly's done this for many, many, many years. So we'll see. There is a timeout on the field, and it's going to be charged, I believe, to Guertin. Yeah, it absolutely is. So looks like Picasso Bates is going to come out, Tom, and he's going to attempt, I'm going to say they're at the 15, so that's 25 plus 7. That's going to be a 32-yard field goal, Tom. 32-yard field goal attempt, unless they take a shot here, but I believe they brought on the field goal unit.
Very makeable with basically no wind. It's a little bit of a breeze. Well, there is a little bit of a breeze. You see the balloons blowing in the air. But you don't see the trees blowing.
But you know what? Look at the flags on the goalpost. Those are not blowing.
No, not. No. So this is.
So
So the wind is up here, not down on the field. So
yeah, 32-yard attempt now for Bates. Have to believe that he has the ability to make this.
And you know what? You got to wonder, why go on 4th down? Less than a minute to play.
You know,
I just don't understand that. But you know what?
This is going to be I don't know that he's got the leg to make this, Tom. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Maybe it's the gloves that are throwing me off.
I bet he does. He get a couple last week extra points that kind of soared through.
So the 6'2", 230-pounder gets his right foot into it, and it's playing a
Blocked.
live ball. That is a live ball. It can be a scoop and score. We'll see what happens. And he's caught from behind was Baker. That's the one thing you have to be careful about is a blocked field goal,
and
a scoop and score.
We saw Alabama lose a game that was LSU in a famous game.
Yeah. Oh, it was Bama Auburn, right?
Auburn. That's
he
an Auburn.
caught it
That's
in the
right.
back of the end zone, went
in
110
the Iron
yards.
Bowl. That's
Yep.
right. Yep. Exactly.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
What a first half.
Yeah, it was a great first half.
So we will go into halftime here.
We've seen, you were here last night, we've seen 3 block kicks now.
Well, the kicking game, Tom, has really been an area of concern in all the games that I've seen this year. Be it punt, kickoff, kick return, field goal extra point.
And you know what? After the win over North, John Trisciani spoke about how they had to, their special teams had been great up until that game, and now they have to fix it. And the first play on special teams, first play of the game, a long touchdown run for 70 yards. And basically, that's mainly the difference in the game with the 2-point conversion. It's 8 points.
And you could argue that that's what cost North the game against Guertin. They lose that game because of missed extra points.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
So we are here at halftime, everybody. 15-6, Pinkerton over Bishop Guertin. We will be back with the start of the second half in just a few.
So I got nothing to cry about with my moderately torn. I'm just trying to stay out of the outline.
change it to lost by 9. Like 15 penalties.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Welcome back, everybody, to second half action here from Stellos Stadium. Jason Roby along with Tom King. Tim O'Neill on the moving pictures. Pete Johnson is our executive producer. We have a good one for you here. Pinkerton up 15-6 heading into the second half. And Tom, really just a slugfest to get this one going in the first half. Two teams just using their strengths against one another, and hence the low score.
Well, they've both there we go. They've both driven for touchdowns. Difference in the game, all on special teams.
Right.
All on special teams.
Right.
Kickoff return for a touchdown, the 2-point conversion for Pinkerton, and then Bishop Guertin missing an extra point on their touchdown.
Tom, we've really seen a difference the kicking game can make, and Guertin about 2 yards away from a scoop and score to end that first half on that field goal.
Baker picks it up, but he just didn't have the burst where he could run. That would have brought the house down had he been able to do that. So, Jason, I remember when I used to do the previews with you and you were coaching North, and I went to all the coaches again this year and do the preview interviews. Sometimes I forget to ask, but usually I ask, who's your kicker?
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
You know? It just doesn't seem to be high priority. I don't know in practice if there's a day designated for special teams work. I don't know how they do it, but it's something that is just no one's really good at this year especially.
Well, teams are willing to concede field position, and we'll see it once again right there is, a great job rallying on the play, but Guertin's going to set up shop just short of their 35-yard line, and high school football field position is everything. We always talk about turnovers. We always talk about penalties. But the other factor that has to be considered is field position.
Well, field position is a big thing, and teams, look at the field position Pinkerton had to try to score before the end of the half. I mean, they got it down to the 8, and just a penalty saved Bishop Guertin. Otherwise, I think Pinkerton was going to go in for a touchdown.
Sure. So, Guertin will start with pretty good field position here. 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Santa Suazo barking out signals. Baker again in the tight slot at the bottom of your screen. And he'll keep the ball. Will Santa Suazo on 1st down, and it's going to be a whole lot of him, I would imagine, in the second half.
It was a whole lot of him in the first half. He had 121 yards on the ground, so 60 of it coming on that one play.
Charlie Bellavance, you mentioned earlier, he's chomping at the bit to get back into this game, and obviously he will be not playing in this one. And
no, and better safe than sorry.
Right.
He said his body feels fine. So, but he's a kid talking. So, a kid who wants to play football.
They bounce back a lot better than we do, Tom.
No kidding. I don't even bounce anymore, Jason.
Jim Malecki off the right-hand side, picking up maybe a yard on the play. That'll set up a 3rd down and 6 for the Cardinals. Important that they get off to a good start here, Tom, just from a field position standpoint. Big 3rd down.
Does he throw? There is a wind factor, and now you can see the flags on the goalpost blowing. So there is a wind factor right now.
And it'll be in his face, so he'll be throwing against the wind. The field is to his right.
Which to me says he's not going to be throwing. My guess is Santa Suazo is going to try to run. Like you said, he'll like to run him right. He's going to run to the wide side. Nope, he's going to throw.
Baker releases up the field, pretty much a dead giveaway, and they just come with pressure.
Well, when Baker leaves, that left an opening, and Pinkerton took advantage of it.
They just had all kinds of trouble protecting up front as they found the open gaps and just stunted right through there and got to Santa Suazo. 4th down and 11 now for the Cardinals.
And they will have to punt, so they're not able to drive the ball to start the second half, which is we've seen a lot of possessions that way this year where teams have taken the opening kickoff in the second half and driven right down the field. This time, Guertin not able to do that. They will have to punt. And this time they will punt.
They will kick.
Guarantee it.
Pinkerton sends 2 return men back. They do not touch the center.
It's a good kick.
Rainmaker should be a fair catch. They're going to wave it off. A poison call as that takes a Pinkerton bounce.
Well, what are the Guertin players backing away from it for? They've got to go and just touch it, grab it right away. The ball was bouncing the other direction.
So, Tom, one of the things that we spoke about, and here it is again,
Well,
field position.
yeah,
You're giving Pinkerton the ball with fantastic field position.
Yeah, and you know what? The wind held that ball up, I think, Jason.
Yep.
I think that's what happened there. And now, all of a sudden, Pinkerton with great field position to start the second half. And I expect them to just run. You have the lead. You're up 15-6. And I would think that they're going to just run the football.
We'll see if Brian O'Reilly comes out with any kind of a different look. Probably not, and it is not. It is a true wing T. Wing to the right, split and left.
Yep.
2 backs in the backfield. Series football at its best. And a waggle to start the second half, and he could just take off and go with it. Looking for a block on the edge.
Didn't
Trips
get
over
anywhere.
his own man.
His own man kind of clogged him up a little bit, it looked like. And Campos just didn't have anywhere to go. There were 2 Guertin defenders shadowing him. Guertin played that play very well.
They really did. They kept the edge, Tom, which was the difference. When they had the kick-out block at the point of attack, it looked like he had an alley, but it was sealed off fast, and as a result, no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10, so a good showing for the Guertin front on 1st down.
Of course, when you're doing those plays, what's the guy you're looking for? You're looking to see where Santosuazo is on defense to see if he's coming over to that side.
And they just run a belly play to the right side off the right guard tackle hole straight ahead, and they pick up, Tom, on the base play. You pick up 5-6 yards, and a huge 3rd down and 5 for the Astros.
Yeah, I don't think Guertin was too happy to give up that kind of yardage on that play.
Especially on that particular play.
You want to get a wing T team that doesn't throw it. You want to get them 3rd and long, you know?
We always used to say, Tom, if a wing T team is having success with belly and trap, we're in big trouble.
Yep, exactly, because they can just run all night.
Counter here. Interesting play on a 3rd
And
down. They'll get the
room.
1st down, and he's off to the races. See if he can pick up a block.
I think he's gone.
Wing T, every play designed to cut back against the grain, and that is textbook as running on the counter crisscross, or rather the reverse, the wing back reverse, in for the touchdown. And that was textbook, Tom.
Nothing but green carpet ahead of him.
That was Caden Michaud, the
and
5'8",
Michaud,
150-pound halfback.
Michaud showed that speed. He had a burst. There was 1 defender back to get him. Couldn't catch up to him, and that's it. Gone. Off to the races.
And wing T philosophy, Tom, every play designed to cut back against the grain, and that's exactly what he did. These kids are so well schooled and versed in this offense, it's unbelievable.
A 51-yard touchdown run that puts the Astros up 21-6. They're going to go for the extra point, see if they can make it 22.
Bates had his field goal attempt blocked. This time he puts it up, and it is good. So with 8:12 to go here in the 3rd quarter, the first possession of the second half, Pinkerton goes the distance. It is a 22-6 Astro lead.
Well, Bishop Guertin had the gauntlet. They had how the West was won was that stretch of 3 games against North, South, and Merrimack.
Right.
And that got them the win. That got them the conference. And the bonus was the upset of Salem at the time.
That was huge,
That
right.
was a big win.
Yeah.
That gave them the confidence going into those other 3 games. And they took that win and it went right forward.
I'm going to throw something else at you, Tom. And I just got off the phone with Dante Lorendi, the head coach of Nashua North. I spoke to him at halftime. And we were talking about North is 9 points away from being 5-1, 6-1,
Yep.
6-1,
Yeah.
right? 9 points away.
Down to the wire.
Yeah, 2 one-point losses in last night's
Yep.
down-to-the-wire game against Salem. So we'll see. Guertin's hands should be ready here every time Pinkerton lines up like this. We know we're going to see that quick onside kick at some point down the road. Maybe not today, but
No,
they're
not
giving
today.
giving teams something to work on.
That's the thing, Jason. Brian O'Reilly is not going to.
No.
Should be going pure vanilla from here on out. You know, I mean, nothing to really. You don't want to show anybody anything. And there's a nice dive for the play right there, and for Guertin to hold on to it, and the ball at the 26-yard line for the Cardinals, trailing now in this game, 22-6, without their other top offensive player, Charlie Bellavance.
And Bellavance makes a huge difference, especially, we talk about the offensive line and how they open things up, but when you've got a kid like Bellavance who's, quite frankly, look, he's 6'1", 220 pounds running downhill on you, that's That's a big kid
Yeah,
coming at you.
Bellavance has made, that the line has given him the start, but Bellavance showed what I don't think they really expected, a little bit of a burst.
Yeah.
And doesn't, they don't have that right now.
Well, I'll throw this at you too, Tom. So Bellavance goes down. Next man up is Chimalecki, and nothing against him. He's a 5'10", 155-pound sophomore. He's going to grow. He's got 2 more years after this year,
exactly.
But he's a different kind of runner, right? He's more of a cut quick kind of kid, where Bellavance gets downhill relatively fast. So difference in styles there. And
that was his best run of the night, that 4-yard run.
Well, he's done a nice job out there, and certainly.
Well, you know what?
Going to get better.
Well, here's the thing, and I'll say it after this play.
Swing pass there, rallying up from the outside, and
needed to make a faster cut. Couldn't do it as 2 defenders are over there, and they're able to make that play. But Amaral just could not cut up. But here's the thing. What do you tell a kid like that who's a sophomore getting in there to carry the ball? One thing, 2 words. Don't fumble.
Yeah, absolutely right.
That's all you're telling them to do.
Well,
hold on to the ball, don't fumble.
And getting valuable experience in here too, right? Let's not overlook the fact that he's playing against one of the top defenses in the state year after year, and he's going to earn every yard that he gets, no question about that. Huge play here for the Cardinals on 3rd down, and just as you would expect, it's going to be Santa Suazo, and it looks like he has enough.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. Without Bellavance, you know that you key on Santa Suazo because he's going to get the majority of the carries. So
1st and 10 for the Cardinals, 6:38 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. A 22-6 Astro lead. Cardinals are on the move inside their own 40 as a bail technique showed, and fullback trap is just met in the hole, a 1 or 2 yard gain there. You could see that the keys and the reads by the linebacking core of the Pinkerton Astros. Just watch the linebackers. They are reading the flow. They are reading the blocking of the linemen up front. They just fill those holes real quick.
Well, and the thing is Bellavance is somebody who would keep the play moving forward.
Sure.
It was tough to bring him down. This is a younger kid, a smaller kid. He's not going to push bodies.
You also just had Santa Suazo carry for 3 yards, and it wasn't easy, right?
No.
So you don't expect him to keep it twice in a row.
But he went up the middle.
Right.
Now he's going to throw it.
1-step drop, and I like that prescription, because I'm going to tell you something about.
Amaral makes that mistake, gets the ball, and what does he do? He steps backwards.
The one thing I will say, though, is what you're seeing from this Pinkerton secondary is they're playing soft. It looks like a cover 2 shell. Sometimes it almost looks like maybe a cover 4. They were
beaten by Rutstein last week because they were down. They were down their 2 starting corners, just like I think South was.
Yeah.
Neither team had their top cornerbacks in the game.
Well, I think if you're Pinkerton, you're Brian O'Reilly, and more importantly, the defensive coordinator.
You don't want to show them anything.
You're gonna play vanilla, and you'll give up those 5-yard routes.
Yeah, sure.
You'll give up those 5-yard passes, keep the clock running, and get out of Dodge.
3rd about 4.
It's going to be Santa Suazo around the edge, and he does a nice job getting up the field. Going to be close.
He was 1 tackle. I think he made it, but he was 1 tackle away from bursting up the middle and going downfield. 1 shoestring tackle in a crowd. You couldn't really see it, but he almost broke it.
And he is a playmaker.
Sure is, boy. I didn't expect that from him this year. I really didn't.
So Guertin, once again, will move the chains. This is a huge possession for them. Would be great for the Cardinals to score on this drive and make it a 1-score game potentially. And Chimalecki is just met in the hole by 2 defenders
that
there.
That delayed handoff play that we see so many teams use. Saw it a lot last night with Salem. And you're just waiting. And Chimalecki had no room as while you're waiting to decide, the bodies just converge in that one area.
Patricus and Limperis. Limperis goes 5'10", 185, and Patricus 6'1", 165, and they played their run fits perfectly.
Perfectly.
You never follow another defender. You take a different angle, and they do it well. Guard pulls, and great second effort there, though. And again, you're right, Tom. If it's Bellavance, maybe there's 2 or 3 more yards on the carry because it's a bigger kid. But that's a good, solid run there by Chmielewski.
He's run the ball better in this second half.
Yeah, he really has. He
Yep.
really has. He's getting up in there. And Pinkerton always known for their great linebacking play, but he was patient. He followed his pulling guard and got right up in there and fell forward. So huge third down, however, for the Cardinals as they're looking at third down and about 7.
Where's Baker? Is he out there?
He's in the slot down here to us, and he's coming back around, so it'll be a nice throw. He's open, and that's a well-designed play
It
by
sure
Guertin,
is.
Tom. And I'll tell you what they did. On the snap of the ball, they brought Baker underneath across the line of scrimmage.
Right. So he would be in the backfield
Yep.
and be able to roll out and get that wide open pass.
Whoever was responsible for him got caught in the wash, and he ends up outflanking them on the far side. So well-designed play by the Cardinals and Coach
again, you're going to
Trisciani.
see them feature more and more things as the next 2 weeks go on, to see what they can try to come up with, or they'll be doing it a lot in practice, maybe not the games because they don't want it to show up on film.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a little bit closer. We'll see that look again. This time, however, they move Baker a little further out into the slot to the field. So we'll see if they continue the run or they go back to the friendly skies. And it's going to be Chmielewski again, and he'll get 1 or 2 yards hard earned up the middle.
His progress should have gone to about the 34.
So 2nd down and 9, and again, have to believe that you are in 4 down territory here, Tom, as this third quarter is dwindling quite quickly.
2:05 left. 2:06, 2:05 now.
Baker now out of the game for Guertin as number 2, Cody Szymanski, will check in at the split end here.
Ooh, Baker
So,
a little
gimpy.
shaken
Yeah,
up.
he is
Yep,
a little.
He goes down.
So that's not something you want to see. Santa Suazo on the keeper cuts back. He is met in the hole. He cut back to the middle.
Looks like a cramp for Baker.
Yeah. Hopefully just a calf muscle. Looks like it. And it looks like both calves potentially, maybe a hamstring.
Ooh, hamstring.
We're hoping calves. It looks like calves. They're pushing down. If they're pushing down on those toes there, that's definitely the sign of a calf cramp.
Yep, they're pushing down.
So that's a good sign. Hydrate them, stretch them, get them back in there.
A lot of cramping this year in high school football.
Guertin will come back with wide trips to the field, split end up top. They have a one-on-one matchup. Free safety floats to the trip side.
With this win, he better not float a pass.
They
because
bring
it's gonna hold
pressure,
up.
well picked up, and they do take a shot. It's a touchdown.
Got him.
Yeah, Tom, just as I thought would happen there. They go trips to the field, and Santa Suazo, look to where the free safety was playing. The free safety cheats to the trip side. They go one-on-one, and a great protection up front. Pinkerton brought pressure. They brought 5 or 6 guys, and you knew it was man-to-man on the outside, and as a result, touchdown for Bishop Guertin. Well done there.
I love what this kid can do because he's got something that really no one else on this team has.
Yeah.
Blazing speed. And you know what? He had another touchdown earlier in the game.
Short-armed it. Yep.
Out.
But he wasn't going to miss that twice, and
No.
and they've had that quite a bit. They've gone away from the trips and go to the single receiver side. You got to like the matchup.
I believe it's Gano, right?
Yeah, Gano, and he's he's 6 foot, and the corner out there,
But he has got speed. I would love to see them. They won't do it in this game.
Well, Tom, here's
But
the thing.
I'll tell you, they're going to go for 2 here. Oh, he can just run that in if he. Yep. Can't do it.
Well done. He found the drag across the backside. They're going to say it was incomplete.
Yep.
Looking for the backside call from the
yep.
official. They're saying incomplete.
Yes. Of course, you may have a replay.
We have a replay coming right now. I'm seeing it on the
delay,
screen.
Right? I'm
it is
outside,
on delay,
so I can't see it.
We'll see what happens here. They're going to say it was incomplete, but we'll watch on the replay right now, Tom, as I'm seeing it. And I'm not sure if the fans at home are seeing it, but
well, what that does
roll
is
to the right.
What that does.
Oh, he's
is,
wide open. Boy, I don't know, Tom. It looked like he caught it to me, but no, I guess no. Tim O'Neill, the eye in the sky, says no soup for you. So they're saying incomplete.
Tim O'Neill's never wrong about those
Never
calls.
wrong. He thought he was wrong once, but he was
sees it
mistaken.
all. He sees it all.
22-12.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. What that does is basically 22-12. It would have been 22-13. You're still down 2 scores, but you don't have the chance of winning it on a field goal with the score the way it is now.
Right.
You can only settle for a tie. That's the difference. That's the difference in the game right now. 22-12 with 1:01 to play in the third quarter. But I think I would love to see Guertin featured in the running attack on a sweep.
Maybe something like that, sure.
But you know what? They're not going to show it now.
Maybe some screens, some jailbreak screens, some stuff where he's coming
Lots
back
of
in.
things,
Yeah.
but that's not their offense as much.
Well, Tom,
So
here's the thing, too. Guertin is a 6-footer.
Right.
The corner that's covering him out on the perimeter is 5'8".
Yep.
Chip Kelly used to say, I don't care how fast you are, I'll take height any day.
Right.
Although he liked speed, too, so let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
He had a lot of speed to
I
burn.
don't think there's an offensive coach that doesn't like speed.
No, this is true. But they always said if the corner runs a 4.5 40 and the wide receiver runs a 4.8, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because the corner has to run the same speed as the wide receiver to cover him.
Right.
At that point, you take height.
Right.
Genius. 22-12, 1 point away from calling it a great Rush album at 21-12. Pinkerton ahead, 55 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
And again, look where the ball
Field
is.
position, Tom.
Again, it's just
You are just conceding
you're
field
conceding
position.
field position.
True wing tee, belly play, up the gut, and just a great effort there. I want to say that was the fullback / kicker, Picasso Bates. I'm not 100% sure if it was 48 or not. It was, I believe.
Yeah, it's 48. Yep.
So Bates, and again, you look at a kid that is 6'2", 230 pounds coming downhill at you. Thank goodness he takes a step backwards to go forwards first, but he falls forward. He picks up tough
About
4
About
yards
5.
there. Yeah, 3.
It's out to the 48. They're at the 40, 43,
I'm looking at that
44.
second down marker right there.
Second and about 6.
A fumble on the play, Tom.
On the snap.
On the snap, so you don't see that a lot.
Well, you saw the inadvertent snap
Yeah,
that Santosuazo wasn't ready for
right.
early in the first half.
Nate
And-
Campos very lucky to get that one back. Is some miscommunication there, and that's going to do it,
Yeah,
Tom, for the
that'll
third
do it
quarter.
For the third quarter, everybody. We are here at Stello Stadium. The score after 3. It is Bishop Guertin trailing Pinkerton 22-12 on a breezy, what's become a breezy night here at Stello Stadium. It's still fairly warm, comfortable. But the most important thing right now, I'll probably jinx it. It's still
Not
dry.
raining.
Still
Yeah.
dry.
There you go. So, huge quarter coming up now, and if you're Bishop Guertin, you're 2 scores down, and you've got to stem this drive by the Astros. It's still a slugfest, but I like the play call, Tom. I like going away from the trip side, taking advantage of the height.
Oh, sure.
And the speed, because Guertin had a couple of steps on him again. And if you watch that play back, you'll see the corners bailing out of there to give themselves a chance over the top, and they still ran by him. So a great job there and a great play call by Coach Trisciani and his staff to get him closer. On to the next, 3rd and about 6 here. This will be a huge defensive play for the Cardinals, and it looks like they're bringing pressure. I could be wrong. He'll flop there. They are bringing pressure, and he comes untouched. That ball just floating there, and almost an outstanding catch by number 81, Logan Goki, but a good dialed-up blitz
he
there.
needed about 2 more inches on his arms.
Well, they came
would've had it.
with a blitz there, and anytime you bring more than you account for in protection, that's a good thing. And what I like, Tom, they brought the pressure from the boundary. You know you have a right-handed quarterback. You bring it from the boundary. Sometimes you don't account for that, and as a result, it's going to set up a 4th down for Pinkerton.
And a punt into the wind.
So this will be Bates, and he'll back up 14 yards away, make that maybe 13. So we'll see if Guertin comes after it. They've already blocked one field goal. They did. That's a great punt.
What a kick.
And that's a good returnable ball. That should be a returnable ball for Santosuazo when it is. Straight arm there, and A good open field tackle. It was a good straight arm. Patrick Waldron took down the punt returner.
Again, Santa Suazo runs to the short side of the field. More defenders there than can be accounted for.
Well, that's where the
And
blocking was set up, and I'll tell you, that
But
was
still, you got open space to the left.
so a huge defensive stand there for the Cardinals. And
And there's a flag down. Evidently, they're going to talk about it, and Guertin's going to be moving backwards, I believe.
it was Santa Suazo on that return, right,
Yeah, it
Tom?
was.
I want to make sure.
Yeah, he's the only one who does the stiff arm.
Yeah. That was just a great punt.
And let's see what the call is going to be. It's got to be some kind of bad block.
Well, we'll get the call here from the head official.
We won't. No microphones, so we don't hear it.
Coach Trisciani wants an explanation, I'm sure, as to what's going on. There's some communication and a hold.
Hold on the punt. But what? Where is the hold? That it's way back there?
Well, it could have been, Tom, on the man that snaps the ball has had a free release all night, and potentially they held the center. You can't put anybody over the center on a punt. So a lot of times that guy gets a free run. So somebody may have come over into the picture late and grabbed a hold of that free runner. Not sure, but it is possible.
Well, if that happened, that had to happen, Jason, behind the play. Behind it.
It's possible
Look
that it
where
did.
Look where the yardage
Yeah,
is.
possible it did.
Unbelievable.
Santa Suazo on the keeper, and almost a follow-me play on the zone read. And you almost want to tell your back, keep carrying out your fake, because if you don't carry your fake out,
yeah,
they know you don't have
right,
the ball.
Exactly.
And I'm going to take the heat. So checking in now is number 4, Marcel Vernon, and Chmielewski will get a break here.
6-yard gain for Santa Suazo.
Handoff now and a bounce out and a great run there. A little bounce to the outside by Vernon. The 5'11", 173-pounder finds the seam.
Yeah, small kid who you don't want to have carry the ball an awful lot because he's going to get beaten up. But boy, that's not a bad run.
That's a nice run there.
Sure is.
You know, again,
but again,
Vernon's a junior. So you look at Vernon, you look at Chmielewski. Both those guys are back next year.
But again, that penalty really hurts. Why? Because it puts them way back. But you can't run some of the plays you want to run from where they were.
Right.
And take that long to come down and try to score because the clock is not your friend anymore.
One of the things I'm seeing tonight, Tom, and Guertin's getting their yardage, and again, they don't have Bellavance out there, but they're being challenged tonight up front by the size and the strength of this Pinkerton
Yeah,
front.
they're meeting a team that's got
equally as good,
equally as big, and with good technique.
Right, they're going to pull both backside guys, and a nice hold there. You saw the backside tackle and the backside slot man pull and lead that play into the boundary, but it was a good play for Vernon. He was a foot away from maybe breaking that into something big, so a huge third down for Guertin. They'll get the play call.
3rd and 6 from the 24.
And it's good to see Baker back on the field, so he got stretched out.
You're with the wind, not throwing into it. My guess is they'll try to throw the ball.
It looks like they're going to bring some pressure, and they
short
do.
Side run again.
Oh, and I'm going to tell you right now what made that play. I don't know if they got the first down or
They're
not.
close enough where they may have to go for it.
But I will say this, number 21, Tom, Dom Terrio, he returned the opening kickoff. He filled that lane so quickly.
But again, Jason, you're running to that side of the field.
I know.
It's not, the bodies are all there. And now it's 4th and 2 at the 28-yard line. In a game that doesn't mean as much as maybe you think it does. Maybe they're going to go for it. It sure looks like they are.
They got on the jump, Tom, and well done.
There you go.
Little gamesmanship. We used to call that brick.
Whoever jumped is going to be doing laps on Monday, that's for sure.
That's something that will drive a coach absolutely bonkers. If you're Brian Murphy and you're Coach O'Reilly,
do you practice that?
You bet you do.
You
oh, absolutely.
That.
We used to tell the kids anything inside of 4 yards to go, you always Watch that ball.
Yep.
If it's 6 yards, you can afford it.
Right.
Because you'll still be 1 yard short. But Marcel Vernon again on the
Vernon
carry up the left
very
side.
well,
Yeah.
You know.
Pickup of 3.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to get, with Vernon and Chimalecki, 3-4 yards. But both these kids have the ability to break it off and go the distance if they get a seam. Tough sledding against the tough Pinkerton
They
defense,
just need
certainly.
the ability to get a little bigger next year.
And they will.
Yep.
There's a huge growth that takes place between your junior and your senior year, your sophomore and your
See
junior
that
year.
with Josh Campo at Asheville South.
It is huge. Santosuazo barking off orders there. He'll roll to the field again, and there is no intention of throwing the ball.
He was looking. He was looking.
Held that ball at his hip.
He was looking. He kind of moved his arm back. You were kind of waiting to see if he'd do it.
It would have been a sidearm sling as he takes it and gets the necessary yardage for the first down. But they'll wind this clock on the first down chain moving, and we're inside of 8 minutes to go here in the game, Tom.
Well, you basically have to.
At some point, you might want to take a shot, and we might see it. You see the free safety cheating over to the boundary again this time. Vernon met viciously in the hole there.
Well, it's a predictable situation now. On first down, they've always given it to the other runner so Santosuazo can get a breather after he picks up the first down. So it's a pretty predictable thing.
Interesting right now, Tom. I do not see Gano in the game, and
he's right down in front of me. Down in the middle of the field. He's about the 47-yard line.
I'd expect to see him take a shot again at some point.
But not with him. And the short side
again into the boundary, and Pinkerton just has it dead to rights. Just run out of real estate real quick over there. That's going to set up a huge 3rd down and 9. And Tom, I gotta imagine it's 4 down territory inside of 7 minutes.
3rd and 9 at the 45-yard line. Where's Mr. Baker?
You got Szymanski down here in a one-on-one situation, and up top you got a press man situation up top, and I wouldn't be surprised if you get a slot.
Lined up in the slot.
I think you're gonna get a shot taken up top there, Tom. I really do. We'll see. They're in press man. He bails.
Short.
Was his knee down? They're going to say his knee was down.
Doesn't matter because he's at the his knee's down at the 49-yard line. So it's going to be a 4th down now.
You might see the same play to the other side potentially. So 4th down.
4th and 3 at the 49 of Pinkerton.
This is your game right here. They tried to get Pinkerton to jump again. They didn't
do it. So now they look for the call, and I think the call is going to be Mr. number 13 going to run the football.
Yeah,
and
he
there
does.
it is, and he's got. I
think he's going to be close.
Got there. I don't think he got it.
Let's look at this official on the side. This is going to be worth a measurement.
See where he marks it.
Coaches on the side are saying 1st down. They have a pretty good look at it.
The referee, where he's standing, is
they're going to take it. They're going to measure, so they're going to back both teams up. So this is your ball game right here for all intents and purposes.
I think he's short by the tip of the ball.
Good football teams do their job, right? They take a look at the formation. They've done their scouting reports. They know what you're going to see, and you just do your job. And if Pinkerton stops them here, that's just a matter of them doing their job.
Let's see. Stretch that out. Maybe the stretch.
That's a first down.
Wow, I was wrong.
So there is still life in the Cardinal.
It would be a lot more tension with 5:48 left to play if it was a 1-score game. That would make this
again, at some
drive
point
worth it. But the more time they take, they cannot give Pinkerton the ball back unless they score in the next minute.
You're going to have to take a shot here at some point.
You
just got to take a shot, or you got to expect Santosuazo to take another run around the end here.
Yeah, to get to the outside.
They're going to take a shot here, and that ball's tipped. Yeah.
I think it was Yanako that got it.
Yeah, it was Yanako. He was coming on some pressure, number 25 there, getting in the passing lane and getting a hand on that. Clock will stop, so 2nd down and 10. So that's the only benefit really that comes off that incomplete is the clock stops for the Cardinals. It's just good team defense, Tom. Everybody just doing their job. They dial in the pressure. They make it happen. And I think both lines have played pretty well again here tonight. I expected Guertin's line to play well. I'm impressed by what I've seen from the front of Pinkerton, to be honest with you. One-step drop, slings it out there, and a nice move to the outside. You saw that one coming, Tom. That's
Spin
Cody
move.
Szymanski, and he made a little dip to the
Just
inside.
that one
outside.
little spin move with his hip. Spun around and gets into the open area.
Yeah, well done, well designed, and a one-step drop, which is really a three-step drop from under center. And
see, for a team that runs the ball this year as much as Guertin has, they have to be able to know that they can do those kinds of plays.
no doubt. He'll roll to the left, and a nice play there, and it goes off of his hands. And I like that play because you're working to the field. You've got a lot of room to work, and unfortunately for the Cardinals, that went off of, was it Baker's hand? No, it was it Baker? I believe it was Baker's hands. But again, glass is half full, you stop the clock. So you're in 4-down territory. It's not a huge play from the standpoint of you still got 3 downs to get 10 yards and the clock is stopped.
Will they throw again? I don't think so. I think Santa Suazo's running on this play. Running to his left, I would hope. Nope, he's going to throw it.
Friendly skies, they go.
Look at all the room, though. He's got to run it. And there he goes.
And I'm
all that room, I just said, that's
and that could be a blindside block. It is. That one's coming back.
Yep, unfortunately.
You know, it is.
Yep,
no, you can't. You can't.
do that.
That's to protect the players. Yep. That was put in years ago.
Right.
You can't blindside. And they could have called one earlier in the. And you know, it's.
So it'll go back 10 yards.
Yeah, it's a blindside block. You could have just put your hands out and gotten in the way. That's a play that to keep kids safe, and we're going to watch it on the replay. And Santa Suazo will roll left, and he's on the move. Yeah, he just sized him up.
Yep, exactly.
And it's again, it's one of those things where you are unprotected.
Right.
You are
defender
defenseless.
Is not aware of it.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's and what do you teach your kids in practice? Look, you got to block for your quarterback.
Sure.
You block for your quarterback, and you know, it's one of those rules that was put into play to protect kids. Unfortunately, for Guertin, it's going to march him back. So 2nd down and about 20.
2nd and 20 from the 38. Now
and we've seen that call, Tom, quite a bit this year.
But I knew he would be tempted to take off and run. No one in that area.
Yep.
And all he had to do was turn the corner. I'm surprised he didn't get around that corner faster and go down the field, which would have negated any kind of – there wouldn't have been a penalty. Screen set up.
Screen pass, well done,
Yep.
but yeah.
Too much pressure there. Santa Suazo hurried the ball, and because he hurried it, he underthrew it. True top throw. So now it's 3rd down. Everybody probably knows at 3rd and 20 he's going to have to throw the ball.
Tom, I got news for you. No one's hearing us anyway.
Is that right?
Yeah, we're the FNLNH guys have somehow gotten on the feed of our TV, so we are not the voice of NHIAA ETV here this evening. Oh, nice tackle. But we'll keep calling it anyway. They'll get it right.
Well, we'll keep calling it because of recorded, right, Tim? Yeah, it's recorded, so.
All right, so we apologize to those of you that are not hearing the voice of NHIAA ETV, Tom King.
And who caught that pass?
Oh, well.
But they gain 8 yards on it.
So a huge 4th down play
4th
here.
And 12 from the 30.
Good protection and
not there.
No pass interference call and incomplete.
He had to dive for the ball, was not impeded. So that'll do it right there. And Pinkerton with 4:03 will take over the ball at around the 30-yard line. They'll take it over at the 30-yard line. That's where they'll have it with 4:03 to play, and there'll be student body right, student body left. Tick-tock, run the clock, run the clock.
So bend but don't break defense by the Astros, and,
Yeah.
it comes back to a penalty.
And it only bent on a couple of plays.
Yeah.
So
Pinkerton, again, goes back to a wing T. They'll run isolation right up the gut. And anytime your free safety is leading the team in tackles, that's not a good thing.
no, it's not a good thing.
But Santa Suaso's a heck of a football player, and every coach I've talked to that has played against him has said as much. So he's a pretty good player out there, Tom. And
Good football instincts.
yeah,
Great football instincts.
and we'll see him on the hardwood, right, this winter.
Yep. We sure will.
So the clock
And
still runs.
That'll be
Yeah.
here before you know it. Don't forget, they start early this year, December 10th.
Yeah.
And they end early. The finals right around the 19th of February. The finals, everybody.
Isolation again that time, and they'll be content to just pound it straight ahead, Tom.
They just want to run that clock.
Yeah.
Take their time. We are approaching 3 minutes right now.
Third down and about 4. We'll see if Guertin starts to use some timeouts or if they just concede this one. I would have thought maybe a timeout on that play, but they're probably thinking, because Pinkerton's going to run this entire play clock down, kind of force the issue and make it 4th down. But
Right. And needing 2 scores makes the job that much harder.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how this playoff scenario works out, Tom. And I'll just leave it at that. As to the boundary, we'll see if he stays in bounds. He does, and that's just good heads-up football, right?
That is.
You're running to the short side of the field.
Do not go out of bounds.
You stay in bounds, run the
Right,
clock,
that's your knockout.
force Guertin to use one of their timeouts.
Covered his father. His father was a pitcher.
Heck of a baseball player,
Well,
right?
Bruce was good. Jay was better.
Jay, right.
But his father's Bruce.
Sure.
Bruce won. Bruce pitched Pinkerton, which went in as, I believe, a middle seed. I'm not sure. But 500 team during the regular season in 1986, and he pitched Pinkerton to the state championship. They beat Keene up at Concords Memorial Field in 1986.
There you go. Tom
Yep.
King, the plethora of knowledge,
Yep.
all things
With Yanako-
sports.
Yanako on the mound.
So, and if you are watching, I imagine they might try to splice us in at another time, Tim. Any truth to that effect or after the fact?
Well, we're being recorded,
Oh, okay.
Jason, so they'll replay this.
Very good.
They'll replay this.
Because I'm working on my reel, Tom. I'm
Yeah.
working on my, my
Exactly.
professional reel.
Get those clips.
Waiting for all those offers to come from Boston.
Exactly. Why stop there? Let's go national.
Sure.
That's what Toby Brown Jr. did.
He sure did. Yeah, absolutely right.
Come on.
So we'll see Pinkerton punting here. Guertin probably going to come after it. Another great punt there. That is just a good punt. And good job. He's got a nice wall there. Helmet comes off of a Pinkerton player. So that kid's going to have
He's going to have to go out and sit out
I think
a
he
play.
was just a punt player anyway, but nice block regardless. So a nice job on the special teams, Tom. Nice job on the special
Good
teams by
return for
Guertin.
Pinkerton. I mean, for Guertin.
Yeah, no doubt.
Good return by Santa Suaso.
Yep.
Pinkerton was kind of playing soft. They just didn't want to give up the long touchdown run, the long score. So they had a lot of people back. So that return, about 20, about 40-yard return.
Got to
for
take a
Santa
shot
Suaso.
here. Got to take a shot here.
Yep. Nope. Gonna go
Again
short.
to the boundary and a nice job.
And he rolls, but he was down. Oh, they say he was out.
They gave him out of bounds.
They gave him out of bounds.
Wow.
His body went down in bounds, but they
Hey,
gave
they'll
him out
take
of
it.
bounds.
They'll take it. Inside of 2 minutes. So you're going to have to take a shot here. Oh, they're going to wind it. They're saying he was in. Stands in there, good pocket presence. And that play really designed, Tom, just to stop the clock.
Sure was.
You know, there was no no intention of picking up yardage on that play.
Well,
That was
even
how
though
do we
even though they did, they got 3 yards.
right. Well, better than just downing the ball because
Sure.
you might break a tackle, you might be able to do something. But that was more to get up the field and get out of bounds. So 1:42 to go here in regulation. Guertin standing at about the Pinkerton 17-yard line,
yeah.
18-yard line.
18-yard line right now. At the 18. Got to
One
go
step
looking
drop.
left.
Oh, and he threw it right in the window between the defensive tackle who, gosh, it went almost right through his arms. Standing there was a 6'6"
But a
defensive
low
player.
throw, so Amaral could not get any yards after the catch.
That was Edward Vanderveen, who stands 6'6" tall.
Short side again. He's going to run it. Nope. Going to throw. And
Oh.
throws right into a crowd, which is why I just don't understand.
Well, the Cardinal sin, Tom, never throw
What?
back over the middle late, right? That's
but,
the
but
thing.
that wasn't even over the middle, Jason. That was still, it was, about still that short side area
Yeah.
where so many players are. I don't know why you throw there. I go to the wide open spaces. Use the real estate.
1:13 to go here. It is a 4th down play. Cardinals have about 7 to
About
go.
7 to go from the 16.
Let's see if they dial that
The
play up with
17.
Baker again. And
timeout.
Brian O'Reilly with a good timeout here
Yep.
in my estimation. They saw the formation. They see Baker to the boundary. So you have to believe there's going to be something coming back this way with Baker. And again, for those of you who will be watching us after the fact, right now you are hearing the feed of FNLNH Media. We want to thank them for allowing us to use their voices on this video. So Tim O'Neill on the moving pictures, and we are getting the FNLNH feed audio-wise. But if you're
Pirates.
watching us at home after the fact,
Pirates.
you'll be hearing us.
Pirates, I said. Nick Anastos, my former colleague from ESPN New Hampshire.
ESPN New Hampshire.
Yep.
Yep.
Those were the days about 5 years ago.
So 1:13 to go here in regulation. Guertin down by 10 points. A touchdown here, onside kick, maybe a field goal, overtime.
4th down, got to throw it.
Tom King hates those
to the
words
6. Oh, yeah.
when you have a deadline. Play of the game right
I
here.
don't have a deadline.
No deadline tonight.
No deadline.
Taking a fade, taking a shot,
Incomplete, and that'll do it.
and no flag.
No, both going for the ball.
Yeah, Szymanski.
Both going for the ball. No reason to throw the yellow stuff, and that will do it. Pinkerton will take a knee with 1:08 to play unless Guertin keeps calling timeouts.
Well, I think that'll probably do it as
It
Guertin
sure
is down
will.
2 scores. And we saw a good game here tonight, Tom. And I think, maybe both teams staying somewhat vanilla.
Saw a good game,
Yep.
vanilla game,
Physical game, though.
physical, but 2 or 3 plays. That's all it came down to, 2 or 3 plays.
The kicking game is a huge factor once again in tonight's contest. Have to believe that if these two teams meet again in the postseason, which is in all likelihood could happen, right? If these two teams face off against one another.
Unless they decide to come up with some harebrained system.
Which could
is,
happen.
always possible. The way it should work is these two teams should meet here in 3 weeks.
Yeah, and you just give the ball to your big fullback and allow him to rumble down the field, and that's going to bring us to 1 minute and counting as they move the
Yep.
chains.
That'll do it pretty much. All right, Jason Roby, good job.
Tom, always a pleasure.
We will see you next Friday night.
Yes, sir. Well, that is Tom King providing his expertise. Once again, want to thank the Friday Night Light New Hampshire media folks for providing the audio. And 30 seconds and counting here. Looks like they will just down the ball. So the final record, or the records after tonight, as both teams display sportsmanship, shaking hands, and a good, hard-fought game. Bishop Guertin will fall to 5-2, while Pinkerton goes to 6-1. Again, Pinkerton right now in the driver's seat for that second overall position, coming out of the South division behind Londonderry. This Bishop Guertin team is the number 1 team in the West. So even though Pinkerton won this game tonight, Pinkerton could be coming back here for a first-round playoff game if they keep the seedings if they finish the way they're seeded right now. Your conference winner hosts a first-round game, so essentially Pinkerton could be coming back here in a few weeks. Still some football to be played, as next week Pinkerton High School will host North on Thursday night. So it must be noted that a short week for this Pinkerton High team, as they will play Nashua North on Thursday night at Pinkerton, a 7 o'clock kickoff. Then they will wrap up their season hosting Alvern. Meanwhile, Bishop Guertin will host, I believe they host Alvern here next Saturday at 6:30, and then they will finish with a game at Wyndham at noon. So lots of football left to be played. Things starting to take shape here in the playoff format. Still some things to be decided in terms of how that will look. But your final score here tonight from Stellos Stadium is Pinkerton 22 and Bishop Guertin 12. For Tom King, Tim O'Neill on the moving pictures, and our executive producer, Pete Johnson, this is Jason Roby signing off, wishing you all well, and we'll see you all soon. Take care.